When learning to cook, you need to understand the basic methods and principles of cookery. Those principles can then be applied to any dish from any country in the world. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to show you the techniques, ingredients and equipment used by professional chefs globally. Understanding the methods of cookery, it's like understanding a universal culinary language. Hello and welcome. Today we're going to talk about baking. Baking is a method of cookery where items are cooked by convection heat and you get those wonderful products like breads, cakes, lemon tarts and biscuits. There's some ingredients that are very classic, such as chocolate, sugar, flour, eggs, fruit and fats. They're always incorporated into some form of bakery. Quite often in recipe books you'll see a low temperature, a moderate temperature and a high temperature. Why are they called that and what are they for? A low temperature is around 100 degrees to 150 degrees. A moderate oven, approximately 170 to 180 degrees. And a high oven is around 200 to 220 degrees. The reason why we use these different temperatures is all depending on the mixture that you're cooking. If the mixture is high in eggs, such as a lemon tart or a pavlova, you should be using a very low oven. The reason for this is because they're very high in egg. And if egg is placed into a high oven, it'll souffle and it won't look good. Only in the instance of making a souffle can you use a high temperature where you want the egg to rise. If you're cooking with a batter mixture, which is a cake such as a chocolate cake, a carrot cake or a banana cake, we're looking at the moderate oven of 180 degrees, almost equal parts eggs to flour and of course other ingredients. When you're looking at a product that is very low in eggs but high in flour, such as puff pastry, Danish pastry, phyllo pastry or bread, we're looking at that high temperature of 200 to 220 degrees. Today I want to show you a simple trick, and that's how to line a cake tin. Everybody loves cooking cakes and it's a really popular thing to do. And this is called a spring form tin. Spring form because it opens and you can easily access the cake. To line a cake tin properly, it's important to have a look at the lip on the base of the cake tin. It has to face downwards. If you hold it this way, you can't get the palette knife under to scrape off the cake and you'll cut off a rim of the cake. You need to have it this way so the palette knife can go in nice and clean underneath the base. Place it carefully into the rim and then close the spring and make sure that it's firm, otherwise your cake will drop out when you're carrying it to the oven. Take a can of spray and then spray the tin lightly. If you spray it too much, you will actually fry the cake. Then place in a cartouche, which is a circle of greaseproof paper, and that'll stop the cake from sticking to the bottom. Even if you undercook it, you can still take it out easily. A strip of greaseproof paper lines the edge, and that way you'll get a perfect edge to your cake. Straight sides on a cake are absolutely paramount to help you with the decorating. Lastly today, what I'd like to show you is some bread. Now I've got 3 loaves of bread here and these have been proving for approximately 1 hour. Proving is where yeast rises. Yeast is a living organism which creates gas and it makes the bread rise. There's 2 types of yeast you can buy. There's fresh yeast and dried yeast. Dried yeast is doubly as strong as fresh yeast, so you have to be careful when you're reading your recipe. Before you put bread into an oven, it's important to cut the bread, and this is called a stress mark, and that allows the bread to lift up naturally without breaking apart. We then place it into the oven, 220 degrees. Absolutely fantastic. Smells great, looks good. Now, before you store bread, you need to dry it out. And to do that, you need to place it onto a wire rack. It allows all the steam to evaporate. To check bread, just give it a tap on the bottom and make sure that it sounds hollow and crisp. Remember, with baking, it can take a long time to get the final product and sometimes a little bit messy. However, the final product is always worth waiting for. Remember, it's not what you cook, it's how you cook it.